I want to get into more talking about Joe Manchin instead of Trump for a little bit because Joe Manchin is the one that needs to be talked about now. Up for a couple days at least. Um, the closet Republican Joe Manchin on Faux News had basically, I don't even know how Faux could call themselves a news channel because they're not a news organization. But he basically told them on Sunday that he would not vote for President Joe Biden, for the current President Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan. So the closet Republican Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia has handed the White House not just a lump of coal this Christmas, but an entire strip mine. The reaction was immediate and fierce. Bernie Sanders even came forward to criticize him. Bernie Sanders is an independent from Vermont. He's the chair of the Senate Budget Committee. He blasted his more conservative colleague. But to be fair, all 99% of Sanders' colleagues are more conservative than he is. Sanders told CNN's Jake Tapper that if Manchin doesn't have the courage to do the right thing for the working families of West Virginia and America, let him vote no in front of the whole fucking world. But it appears that Manchin is prepared to do just that. As a veteran of countless make-or-break comments on Capitol Hill and the White House, everybody knows that Biden and the Democrats have multiple paths forward. And first, I must note that this is not the biggest setback that Joe Biden has faced in his whole life. And each time he has come back stronger than ever. The political graveyards are filled with people who underestimated Joe Biden. Beneath the genial visage is a spine of steel. As Oliver Wendell Holmes said of his fellow Civil War veterans, Biden's heart has been touched with fire, but it will not break from this blow. Perhaps Manchin is being tactical. Perhaps there is some version of a Build Back Better that he could support. And if so, his support will brand the bill as moderate with a capital M, and not the worst thing It's not the worst thing that's happening going into an election year in which moderate voters in swing districts will decide the outcome of the midterms. If instead Manchin has pulled the plug on Build Back Better, Biden still has several paths that he could choose to succeed from. Piecemeal, the size and scope of the Build Back Better plan, which will kill progressives, may have ultimately sunk with Manchin. Basically, the White House website extols the virtues of 22 different provisions in the Build Back Better plan. 22. Woodrow Wilson thought that he could remake the world after World War I with just 14, and the good Lord himself thought that we could govern outside with 10. But Biden could break the Build Back Better up into those 22 component parts and introduce them separately. And not all of them will pass, of course, and especially since it will take 60 votes to break the filibuster. And while the Build Back Better plan requires only 50 votes under reconciliation, maybe none will, given some Democrats' absurd fealty to the filibuster, but you never fucking know. So many, when Bill Clinton had crashed and burned in his attempt to pass the health care, the comeback kid came back with the Children's Health Insurance Plan, which is a tougher nursing home standard, expanded options for people with breast and cervical cancer. He improved food safety, expanded child care and the childhood immunizations, a massive increase in medical research funding, and waged a war on big tobacco. Now, all of these were far more cry from universal health care, but they were progress nonetheless, and Clinton is a progressive. And even if we had failed, Clinton used to say, there's nothing wrong with getting caught trying. And now, executive orders. President Barack Obama came back after a massive setback in his case on immigration. He failed in a couple attempts to pass what they call comprehensive immigration reform. He did fail in his attempt to pass the DREAM Act, which would have legalized the status of those who had come to America without papers as young children. But Democrats in the background, of course, excoriated Obama, telling Newsweek that Obama's efforts on immigration were a disaster. He basically says that he put his reputation on the line. He either didn't know what he was doing or he lied. Well, actually, that's basically what Trump was. But because he has not done what he said he would do, I'm ashamed. Undeterred by the friendly fire, Obama pressed on. In 2012, he signed an executive order known as the DACA, which is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and the order allowed young dreamers to legally work in the United States and prohibited their deportation. Taking it to the voters. The news, of course, is all about Manchin, but it is vital for Biden and the Democrats to explain to voters why Manchin has so much fucking power they shouldn't have. The reason Biden must get every single Democrat is that the GOP won't let them get even a single Republican. How is it that out of 50 Republican senators, not one is for the child tax credit, a middle-class tax cut to help families make ends meet, and not even one Republican is for making child care more affordable or home care for your elderly parents and grandparents, and not even one Republican is for the universal preschool to kindergarten, or pre-K basically, or tax breaks for middle-class families who want to buy an electric car or install solar panels on their roof. Not even one Republican is for negotiating for cheaper prescription drugs in Medicare, or for lowering the premiums under Obamacare, or for covering hearing aids under Medicare. And not even one Republican wants to expand the tax credit that rewards people who choose work over welfare, an ideal that Ronald Reagan championed. Not even one Republican is for more affordable housing or better nutrition for children. And Biden should tell his fellow Americans that he wouldn't need Joe Manchin if he could get a few Republicans to actually stand up for his work and for the middle class tax cuts and for greener jobs. I believe the reason Biden and his fellow Democrats are in this position is because the Trumpist Republicans seem to lie awake at night, unable to sleep for the fear that somewhere someone is living the American dream. And needless to say, none of these options is attractive, but each has a serious risk of a failure. But with the planet warming and his party's political prospects cooling, and with COVID resurging and Trump resurfacing, and with prices going up and polls going down, Biden's only option is to get caught trying, like Bill Clinton had said. This is one of the reasons why I don't vote Republican, because they don't vote for anything. They don't basically offer anything in policy, which is why I never vote for them. Same thing with the Democrats. I don't vote Democrat either because they have nothing to offer. Neither do the Republicans. But if you want to look at a party who doesn't really have anything to offer, it's the Republicans. They have nothing to offer anybody. So there's that. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. And also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And thanks for listening.